My name is Catherine Merseth. Right at the moment, I'm a retired senior lecturer from the Graduate School of Education. I have been teaching here for over 25 years, and my primary role right now is teaching Harvard College undergraduates about K to 12 schooling and how we can improve excellence and equity in K to 12 schools.
Thank you. Why did you choose to pursue your career path in education more broadly?
It's interesting. I think everyone expects you to have a clear, step by step, and this, for me, it's never been that case. I was an undergraduate mathematics major, and when I graduated from college, from Cornell, I could do two things. One was I could continue to study math, but as a teacher of mathematics, or I could go get a PhD in mathematics and study some obscure theorem that no one in the world would be interested in. And I'm such an outward-going people person that I chose to do teaching because it afforded me both the opportunity to be with people and the opportunity to continue to work in my field of mathematics.
It's really great. My next question is, what's the biggest difference between being a K-12 teacher and a professor like you?
Yeah, I saw that as your question. I think that's an interesting one. Clearly, the idea of K to 12 teaching, the students have no choice. They must be in school. Mm-hmm. And so we have, if you will, a main difference between kindergarten through 12th grade, besides the age difference, is that students that I teach at the college level elect to be in this class. So they want to be there. They've chosen to be there. As opposed in high schools where I did most of my teaching, they had to be there. So motivation is a big issue. But fundamentally, when it boils down to it, is really trying to find an effective way to convey ideas to people.
That's awesome. And you mentioned a little bit about this, but what's the best part of being in a classroom, and perhaps what are some challenges that aspiring teachers might need to anticipate?
I think the best part of being in a classroom is getting to meet people. And I have a favorite saying that someone else has said, which is, it's all about relationships. And so if you build a really strong relationship with your students, you are almost guaranteed to have success. And the quote that I like to state is, I don't care how much you know until I know how much you care. And so for beginning teachers, I think that's hard because they feel very self-confident, aware, and maybe I don't know my subject, and gee, maybe I'm not very good. And so they're sometimes reluctant to really get to know their students, and they adopt this formal position. And that gets in the way of developing a really strong relationship with your students.
Thank you. What advice do you have for those of us who want to become teachers in the future? I know you covered a little bit.
Yeah. I think the important thing for teachers are, number one, to be very comfortable in what you will teach. Number two is to engage with others who are already teachers to learn various techniques. It's like medicine or research. There are tools and different ways to approach things. But fundamentally, it boils down to saying to yourself, how can I get this idea from my head into my student's head? Mm-hmm. And do it in an interesting, interactive way.
Thank you. Is there anything else that you want to speak about that we didn't cover in the questions?
Yeah, I think the one thing I would say is that I feel that teaching is one of the most powerful ways to guarantee that we have a better future. And often I say here in the United States or in the countries of Haiti or in Armenia, the children are the future. And when you have, for example, in the United States, 20% of our population are under the age of 18, mm-hmm. but they are 100% of the future. And so if we don't educate them well, if we don't treat them well, if we don't respect their social, emotional, their intellectual, their psychological well-being, we won't have a decent future. So teaching really is the way to impact lives.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Professor Merseth.
You're welcome.